This is a full walkthrough on how to obtain the Golden Scarab talisman in Elden Ring. This talisman can be equipped to boost your rune gain by 20% permanently, so long as you have it equipped. So the earlier you get it, the more benefit you'll get. It's going to make farming runes so much faster, but it will require you to defeat a boss in order to obtain it. However, the boss is very weak to lightning and fire, so it can be cheesed, as I'll explain later in the video. But now let me show you how to get to the boss's location really easily. And if you don't have the map unlocked, check out my other guide linked below. So starting from the first step where you start the game, you're going to want to come north up this path here to the Gatefront Ruins, and then head directly east, across this bridge, and then at the fork in the road, go north and follow this path all the way up to the third church of Marika, located here on the map. Just where these mountains are, you'll be able to head up the cliff by using the wind to jump up the cliff face until you reach this path just here. Once you're on this path, you can just head all the way around here and then head south on the path until you get to the Smouldering Wall resting spot of Grace, which is just under this telescope icon on the map here. Now, once you reach this location, you're going to have a look on the map and you'll see there's like a wall outline just here. Follow that along until you get to this sort of dark blotchy area on the map, and that's where you're going to put your waypoint, just over here. So we're starting here at the Smouldering Wall resting spot. You can see this is the resting spot. This is the path that you would have come down. This is the telescope just here, and then you're going to see this big wall. So we're basically going to follow this wall all the way to the east, and you can see the waypoint that I put over there in the distance earlier. And by the way, the Ultimate Dragon t-shirt merch has just dropped, so you can check that out from the link below too. Carry on following the wall, and you're basically going to get to a cliff once you reach the edge just over here. So we're at the end of that wall there, and this is the cliff that drops all the way down. And then just to the right, there's kind of like this big rocky outcrop. And now if you look to the east, you can see we can actually drop down on this area just here. And you can see just on the other side of this cliff, there's another area where we can access like a secret sort of cave. So what we're going to do is look at it. Then you're going to want to sprint and then jump again. And here we are. Now we're at the bottom of this cliff. So we can dismount and we can access this secret cave. Now, I'm just here on the map. You can see the abandoned cave has now appeared. And this is the resting spot we started at, just for reference. I do recommend that you use a torch when you come down here, which you can get all the way back over here in Limgrave at the Church of Ella from the merchant just there. So in this location, we're going to be dealing with something called Scarlet Rot. In order to resist Scarlet Rot, you're going to want to wear armor with a high immunity rating. Currently, I'm using the Astrologer's armor set, which has a decent immunity rating. And if I look at my stats, I can see I currently have a total immunity of 113. However, if you followed my best starter mage guide, you can also get the Traveler's outfit, which as you can see has a better immunity rating. So if we equip this full set of armor, you can now see I have a total immunity rating of 132. And with that, we're going to be proceeding into the dungeon. And again, guide on where to get that linked below. So we're going to activate the resting spot of Grace just here. And then you can see just down there is Scarlet Rot, which will kill us pretty damn quickly. Let me show you guys the problem with it. Essentially, if I drop down, I have to walk really slowly through this. I also roll really slowly. The only way to get away from it is to sort of back dodge like this. And obviously, once you've contaminated Scarlet Rot, you start to take even more damage. In particular, these geysers you see exploding with this gas, they will just chunk you for tons of damage if you are poisoned to Scarlet Rot. So what we're going to do to counter this is look down there, and as soon as you see it explode, we're going to run and jump off the edge just now like this. And then we're going to look towards us and we're going to just carry on smashing the B button like that. And then we're going to end up just here. And just keep smashing B and then just walk over to it. Don't jump, because jumping also isn't fast. And then we can just sit here and wait for the Scarlet Rot to go down. But you don't actually have to wait. Instead, what you can do is stand just here. And we're going to look to the west now. And we're going to like run and jump. And you see, we don't touch any of the Scarlet Rot. And from here, the rest of the dungeon's actually really easy. That was the hardest part. But you're going to get so used to doing this that honestly, you won't find it to be a problem. But now we're going to head down here to the north. You can activate this for some extra support if you like. Do summons because there is a boss at the end. And we're literally going to come into this room and turn right. And you'll see another cliff. Now, just down there, I've already picked it up, but there will be a unique serpent's bow. So if you like, you can grab it off that body down there. But we need to go off this cliff just down there. But you can see there's an enemy. I recommend just running past them. In fact, if you land on their head, it makes your life even easier. So we're just going to start sprinting straight on now. There's going to be some rats here. We're just going to carry on running past them and ignore this mage at the top. Jump up here. As long as you're sprinting, he'll miss you every time. Run to the right of these rats. Just carry on running down this little area. No point in killing anything. And now we're going to go to the right because there's Scarlet Rot. We're going to jump over. There's two mages at the top there. So we're going to run a bit to the left. Then we're going to run right. And now we're going to run all the way up here and jump. And then just carry on going like that. And that's how you basically get past those two mages. And the boss gate is just up ahead here. But I've already killed the boss on this character. Don't worry, I'll show you how to kill the boss and I'll show you footage in a second. But just to be clear with you guys, those two mages that you saw on top of that cliff there are very problematic. If they hit you with their green spells, it will poison you, which then makes doing the boss afterwards very hard. So that's why you need to sort of run to the left so that they fire their projectiles, and since you can run faster than them, you then have time to run up to the right and actually jump up without the spells catching up to you. Now if you're struggling with the Scarlet Rot, you can come back to the resting place of the Smouldering Wall, follow that path south until you get to this resting place, the Astray from Selid Highway North. And then if you come just over here and put a waypoint, and then from this resting spot, if you look directly east, you'll see there's kind of like a bonfire in the distance. He will sell preserving boluses, alleviates Scarlet Rot buildup and cures rot. Alternatively, you can also craft yourself preserving boluses too. So now to get the Golden Scarab reward, we need to defeat the Cleanrot Knights. They're weak to lightning and fire damage, so if you're playing a melee character, enchant your weapons with fire or lightning, and there are tips on how to do that below in the description. Another way you can cheese these bosses though is with fire bombs, which work for any class, since they are weak to fire. But as a mage, I'm going to summon the wolves at the start of the fight, which these knights really struggle to deal with. Then you're going to want to focus down the first knight while he's distracted. The second knight will spawn shortly after and start firing discs at you from a distance, so keep an eye on him in the background. The spear knight will often permablock, which makes him rather easy to backstab. Though I wasted a lot of health trying to show you this because I wasn't keeping an eye on the second knight's disc attacks. I'd actually suggest you even take out the knight with the sickle first, since his golden disc attacks are very annoying to dodge. They require you to roll twice in a row, or you'll get hit by the second one. Once you have one knight down, the first becomes a lot easier. Though without your wolves distracting him as a pure mage, you barely have a window to cast your spells, while also dodging the golden discs. And as you can see, one of the reasons why the wolf summon works so specifically well is due to the fact that the enemies are so tall that when they actually try and stab or slash the wolves, their attacks go over their hitbox. So that's why pretty much for the majority of the fight, my wolves are alive most of the time. Once defeated, you'll be rewarded with the Golden Scarab, which is a talisman you can equip to increase the runes obtained from all defeated enemies by a whole 20% permanently while you have it equipped. This can even be stacked with the golden-pickled fowl foot for another 30% boost. So in total, you would have 50% more rune gain whenever you kill an enemy. I have a guide on how to get unlimited golden-pickled fowl foots, linked down below in the description if you are interested in checking that out next.